We're going to talk about Lara Croft. Shout out to Melanie Mac, RIP, the Lara Croft remasters. It looks like they pulled a Final Fantasy VII remake. Apparently, Tomb Raider 1 to 3 remastered was just hit with a post-release censorship patch.
Wow.
That removes the Lara Croft pinups from Tomb Raider 3, The Lost Artifacts. So in this scene here from Tomb Raider 3, there is there's two posters, one of Lara Croft in this pose and one of new Lara Croft surrounded by candles. Now, apparently, it was in the remaster originally. Here's the remastered picture so you guys can see the proof. You obviously could tell it's a remaster because of the graphics. Here's the original where it's all super pixelated. And for the remasters, by the way, you could switch between original and remastered. I don't know if anybody knew that or whatever, but you can. But apparently, again, here's the proof that it was, in fact, in the remasters, and now they have actually removed it. This is the picture of the remasters now.
That's got to be illegal on some front. You sell me a game,
yeah,
and then you can, like, that's setting a horrible precedent.
That's what I really want to focus on. Kara.
In the disclaimer, they state in the disclaimer that they are not changing anything.
Mm-hmm. Correct. If you look at the
I'm wondering if it was a particular dev who either it's a fuck up in code and it got removed, or it's a malicious dev who removed it. And I did see that there hasn't been any comment on it as of this time. So
I don't think
they haven't acknowledged it.
No, someone asked, "What is the fucking like?" If they were gonna have one of these woke ass, dumbass disclaimers talking about how things are culturally insensitive, what's the point in having a disclaimer if you're just gonna remove the shit anyway?
Yeah, well,
that's why I'm wondering if it's a glitch.
But
that's the first thing that came to my mind.
Legal action, you can
be a weird glitch.
There has to be. That's what I really want to. That's what I want to harp on, Atreus, because it's the legality of the situation, right? So there's a couple things that are very wrong with this, and then you guys can chime in. So number one,
legal mindset.
Number one, the patch, right? They came out that showed all the changes. This is not in the patch notes, so they don't even tell you that they removed it, right? So this is something that's in the patch that wasn't disclosed in the patch. So you don't actually know about it. So they're trying to be sneaky about it right off the bat. Can it be a glitch? 0.1% chance, I would say. Yeah. I'm not going to say 100% no, but 99.9% probably not. Especially something like this, given the climate of the situation and Lara Croft and Crystal Dynamics and what they're trying to do. Like Crystal Dynamics didn't even make the fucking remasters, but they still had to put it out there with their disclaimer. You know why? Anyway, that's number one. Number two, there was proof that it was in the game before. Obviously, now it has been removed from the game, so you can't even say, "Oh, it was always like that," like Warhammer. No, it wasn't. We can clearly see that. Number three, if in the game right now, after the patch, if you switch over to non-remastered form, it's there. If you switch over to remastered form, it's not there. So it's not like they took it out from the not. Yeah. No, that's why like these pictures is from the same person who switched over to non-remastered and then remastered. So it's in the original non-remastered, but in the remaster they took it out. So it's purposeful that you took it out of the remastered part of the game. It's not like you took it out of both of them, right? So you took it out of the remasters because you can actually see it. Where obviously in the non-remastered it's all pixelated. So there's definitely an agenda there. There's something there as to the reason why you did it. So you're sneaky about it. Right. And it's very clear that you took it out of one and not the other because you can see it. And then, like I said, I wanted to harp on the legality of it. I'm really sick and tired of this post censorship shit. Right. So you sold the game after saying that, like Kara said, look at this trigger warning rear. It says, rather than removing this content, we have chosen to present it here in its original unaltered form, in the hopes that we may acknowledge blah, blah, blah. But very, very specifically, it says original unaltered form, right? That right there, if I feel like that's a lawsuit, it's got to be something. You have to be able to do something.
I will ask, is that disclaimer strictly just for the original version of the game? Because now I haven't played this remastered version. So I'm definitely I'm against censorship in gaming. Like obviously, whenever we want to to hold true to the creations of the past. I think that's important.
Mhm.
Because if you get comfortable changing history in one format, you're going to get comfortable changing history in another format. And it's just a long, like, it just leads to one bad thing after another. And so what I'm considering, or what comes to my mind in this is this disclaimer strictly for the original version of the game? And is the remastered version and the original version both on a single disc or on the same game? I haven't bought it, so I don't know.
Yeah, so you could just go into the menu and switch it.
So kind of how in like Halo Master Chief Collection, where you could just swap mid-game between the graphics is what I'm going to
You could just switch it on the fly.
Do?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it just kind of they don't say that they are acknowledging that they aren't altering the remastered portion of the game, which is where I think the wording of this could get us if there was a lawsuit that tried to happen, because they aren't. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, without even the wording of it, there has to be repercussions for companies that sell you an alleged complete game. We're not talking about a live service. We're talking about a game that's supposed to be a single player game. I'm supposed to get a complete product. This is what I bought, and then later on you take stuff out. If they can do that, because they can market you anything they want to market you. We can say, hey, we're going to release this game with a new rocket launcher to come with it. Mm-hmm. And you could buy it for that rocket launcher. And later on, they come out and say, you know what? We're not really pro guns. We're going to take that out.
That's why I have a problem with a lot of games that are strictly online only and require you to agree to a terms of service before we even play a game. Because in those terms of service, they like a lot of them state that they have the ability to change the content of the game at any time that they please, which is where they get us, because it's in those terms of service.
Does it? That game has terms of service, don't it? Who got Tomb Raider? It has terms of service.
I don't think so. It's not an online game. I don't think so. I don't think this game had a terms of service that you had to accept before playing it. I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. But what I will say is that, first off, nobody's buying these remasters to play the original. You know, they leave it in there just so that you as the player can see the comparison if you so choose. But to say that this disclaimer is for the original game, I don't think that's the case, because they say the games in this collection contain offensive blah 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 or whatever, and then they say, rather than removing this content, we have chosen to present it here in original form. So whether it's it's very vague, right? So let's say they can argue, well, we never actually said it's the remasters, right? That we weren't going to alter. It's like, okay, well, if that's the case, you have your original game here that you're leaving unaltered. Isn't the whole point of remastering the game is to remaster the original game? Like, why would you put you're giving me both games, right? You're giving me both games, and I want to play the remastered version of the original game. That means by you taking out this, and this is not the first thing they've censored, by the way. There's another thing they censored, and I'll show you. By taking out this stuff, you're not giving me a remastered original game. You're technically giving me an altered version of the game, which goes against what you're saying in your original trigger warning over here. I just feel like, even though it's vague, a good lawyer can easily get around this.
Mm-hmm. I think you're just a fucking bigot, sexist, misogynist, and all you want to do is stare your time spending it looking at pinup Laura Croft. You fucking heathen! How dare you?
There is
that
object hypno.
There is that. There definitely is that.
I mean, well, that is correct, but also
now there is another censor. This one, I guess. I mean, I understand.
This is ESRB rating reasoning. This one was they did acknowledge this because of ESRB.
Right, because they can't show a nude woman. This guy had a nude woman on the back of his coat, and then they just basically put her in a bikini. That's it. Which I understand that to keep the rating the same. But ultimately, we know that this was an intentional removal. I don't think it's a glitch, and the fact that it's in the original and no longer in the remastered is a pretty easy sign that this was on purpose. And I don't even think they're not even like, these pictures aren't even anything crazy. It's not like you can see Lara naked. This poster, I mean, half of the people who play Lara Croft probably have a poster like this in their room. I mean, what's the
At
big
least
deal
they
about
did in
that?
1999.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had those posters.
I think everybody did have the first one at least.
If
Yeah.
fucking, like, it would like come with a Game Informer subscription. Like, hey,
Yeah.
open up to the middle and you get a free poster, and it's shit like that. Like magazines would just give that shit out like candy if you paid $9.99 a month to get the newest issue.
Yeah, so it just like
Remember
like I
when
said,
Game Informer used to actually be something worth something?
Sure do. Still got a bunch of my old issues.
I remember the Kingdom Hearts 2 one. That was a good one. I really just am with this story again. I'm focusing mainly on the legality aspect. I'm tired, and this brings us back to the original conversation with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, where they censor Tifa in remake, and for whatever reason they did. Ultimately, it was bullshit. It was censorship. And people try to gaslight you. Oh, she was underage in that scene, so that's why they did it. No, stop. That's not why they did it. I really don't think this shit should be legal. I feel like if you, especially, I don't know, man. It's hard because Kara brought up a good point with the terms of service, kind of being the get out of jail free card with these companies. I still feel like this you sold the game with the idea that it was the unaltered remastered version of the game, and then you change things afterwards post launch. I can understand changing the guy's coat pre-launch and giving a reason for the ASRB. I get that, but everything else after that, I feel like you should be held liable. Anything after that.